Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Canopy Growth Corporation, ticker symbol CGC. And so, basically just looking at Canopy Growth Corporation did close on Friday last week, so that's April 5th, at a price of $10.18, being up about 4% on the day. And like pretty much all cannabis stocks right now, we have seen pretty big rallies. And so I have been a little bit concerned that we might be seeing a pullback, not necessarily, a major one, but just, a correction on the way up, just to kind of sustain the upward moves, because I do feel like the cannabis sector as a whole has a lot of great potential this year as far as Schedule 3 and other leaps forward that the sector is making. And then also, just with it being an election year, I do feel like cannabis is something that, voters care about. And so I do think that really, kind of in 4 year cycles, I do think that we tend to see some progress with cannabis. And so this could be a very good year for the sector. And it does seem like it's starting out like that. And so if I do take a measurement from the bottom here to the top, just approximate, the stock price here is up over 320% to the highs, which is right around $11.58. And let's see, the current price, it's up 270%. So I definitely feel like CGC could be pulling back some. And with Tilray earnings on the morning of the 9th, so that's Tuesday morning, I do think that the sector as a whole could be pulling back. It could be a sell the news event. Really, regardless of how earnings are, it's just like a lot of these stocks have been up so much. And with Tilray being one of, if not the largest market cap cannabis corporations, cannabis companies, I do think that if that does pull back, it could drag a lot of the sector with it. And so I do think that CGC could be pulling back. But, I also do have this downtrending line here that has acted as support here, resistance over here. I do think that could be a target for this year, but I do suspect we will be seeing at least one pullback or at least one, slight correction on our way up there. And so looking at that, that's at a price of $18 or so, right around there. But I do think price could be pulling back potentially to $8.35, which was the resistance over here. Prior resistance becomes support. I could definitely see that happening. There is this gap down here to the downside. Filling that would be bringing price down to right around $6 a share. I could see that happening as well, but first we'd have to go to 835. So I feel like that's more of a, realistic short-term target, and then kind of see how it goes. Take it from there. Also, we do have these, candle, the open here and the wick high here, right around $8 a share. That could be serving as support as well. So, plenty of levels to the downside that could be acting as support before getting to 6. And it's quite possible this gap is left behind. Actually, this gap has already been filled, on our way up. So I take that back. But, with that being said, there is a little bit of weakness there given that there was a gap there, but we do have 3 candles overlapping that range. So yeah, I'm not really too concerned about that gap, but just thinking about this as having been prior resistance, consolidation over here, I don't think price is returning to $6, after thinking about that. But one thing that I can do that might give us an idea of where the stock price might be going at is doing a retracement from the highs here hit on September 12th. That was a price of $19.20, and then going down to the lows hit on March 14th at a price of $2.75. So if I do a retracement from that high, approximately there, down to the lows over here, it does look like price was rejected from the 50% level right around a price of $11 a share. And so, that could be, a significant level that we're dealing with. Does look like we also kind of got rejected from the 382 on the way up, right around $9, then pulling back and then moving higher. So, it is quite possible that $9 or $9.04, just right around there, could be acting as support, and we are just kind of stair-stepping our way up. But if there's a sell the news event around Tilray earnings, or maybe there's some bad news that comes out, I do think that this could be pulling back. So I would look for it to hold $9 a share. I don't think 904 is necessarily that significant. I didn't draw this retracement to the penny. But yeah, just right around $9 and really, ideally not getting any closes below 835. But then moves to the upside on our way up to $18 a share. This downtrend line right here, we could be seeing a retest of right around $13 a share. Here I have the 618 at a price of $12.92, and then just above that, the 786 at $15.68. But, I just think that this stock has been pretty well overextended, has, gone up and down, consolidated a little bit along the way up. And so maybe we're just seeing a little bit of that consolidation before another rip higher. But I do think it is good to have a plan for if it does return to 835, whether that level holds or, if that is a good dip buying opportunity. I think it's good to keep that in mind. But yeah, generally, cannabis sector, I do feel like that's going a lot higher over the course of the year. And and Cannabis Growth Corporation, let's see, what's the market cap of this one? Almost $1 billion as of right now. So this is one of the larger ones. So in that sense, I do feel like it is less risky. Some of the ones that I've talked about, are pretty small cap. So I do think that this is probably a more secure one to be looking into. And then also before, while I do have this zoomed in, just want to point out here we are forming lower highs in the RSI here, whereas we have been forming higher highs. And so while it is good that it is stepping up and that we have been forming higher lows as well, so that is good, eventually it is quite possible that as price gets high enough, the lower RSI will suggest that there isn't a lot of money stepping in to hold it up there, and it might eventually roll over. We may not be there yet. It could have another leg up to one of the levels that I talked about. So, just wanted to throw that out there because it was requested, and I did not include it in the recent cannabis video.